In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, the traditional approaches to cybersecurity are no longer sufficient to protect against increasingly sophisticated threats. As organizations embrace cloud computing, remote work, and a globally connected workforce, the concept of zero trust has emerged as a transformative model for ensuring security in this new era. But what exactly is zero trust, and why is it so critical for modern cybersecurity? Historically, cybersecurity relied on a perimeter-based approach often described as the castle and moat model. In this model, organizations focused on creating a strong perimeter around their network, assuming that threats were primarily external. Once inside the network, users and devices were trusted implicitly, akin to being granted unrestricted access within the castle walls. While this model worked reasonably well for on-premises environments, it has become increasingly inadequate due to cloud adoption. Sensitive data and applications now reside outside traditional network boundaries. Remote work employees access corporate resources from various devices and locations. Sophisticated threats. Attackers frequently exploit trusted users or devices to move laterally within networks. Zero Trust is a cybersecurity framework that shifts the focus from perimeter-based defenses to a never trust, always verify approach. It operates on the principle that no user, device, or application should be trusted by default, even if they are inside the network. Instead, access is granted based on strict verification and continuous monitoring. The term zero trust was coined by John Kindervag, a former Forrester research analyst who emphasized the importance of protecting resources rather than relying on network perimeters. 1. Verify explicitly. Always authenticate and authorize users, devices, and applications based on all available data points such as user identity, location, device health, and behavior patterns. 2. Least privilege access. Grant users and devices only the minimum level of access required to perform their tasks. This reduces the attack surface and limits the potential damage from a breach. 3. Assume breach design systems and processes with the expectation that a breach has either already occurred or could occur at any time. This mindset helps organizations focus on limiting damage and improving detection and response capabilities. 4. Microsegmentation. Divide networks into smaller, isolated segments to restrict lateral movement by attackers. For example, even if an attacker compromises one segment, they cannot easily access others. 5. Continuous monitoring. Use advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to continuously monitor user and device behavior for anomalies that may indicate a threat. Adopting a zero trust model offers several significant advantages. First, enhanced security. By verifying every access request and limiting privileges, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of unauthorized access and data breaches. Second, improved compliance. Zero trust aligns with many regulatory requirements such as GDPR and HIPAA by enforcing strict access controls and data protection measures. Third, flexibility for modern workforces. Zero Trust supports remote work and cloud adoption by securing access regardless of user location or device. Lastly, reduced attack surface. By segmenting networks and enforcing least privilege access, organizations minimize the potential paths attackers can exploit. Organizations adopting Zero Trust typically rely on a combination of technologies and practices, including Identity and Access Management, or IAM. These tools ensure only authenticated and authorized users can access resources. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, adds an extra layer of security by requiring multiple forms of verification. Endpoint Detection and Response, or EDR, monitors and secures endpoints such as laptops, smartphones, and IoT devices. Network segmentation divides the network into isolated segments to limit access and contain breaches. Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, replaces traditional VPNs with more secure, policy-based access to applications. And finally, Security Information and Event Management, or SEM, centralizes threat detection, analysis, and response. While the benefits are clear, transitioning to a zero-trust architecture is not without challenges. First, complexity. Implementing zero trust requires a detailed understanding of all users, devices, and applications within an organization. Second, cost. Organizations may need to invest in new tools, technologies, and expertise to implement and maintain a zero trust framework. Third, cultural resistance. Employees may resist changes in how they access resources, especially if new processes introduce friction. And fourth, legacy systems. Integrating zero trust with older systems that were not designed for this model can be difficult. As cyber threats continue to evolve, zero trust is rapidly becoming the gold standard for modern cybersecurity. Governments and industries are endorsing the model. For example, the US federal government's 2021 executive order on cybersecurity emphasizes zero trust principles. Advances in technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning are also making it easier to implement and scale zero trust frameworks. Zero trust represents a fundamental shift in how organizations approach cybersecurity. By assuming that no user or device can be trusted by default, organizations can better protect their sensitive data and systems in an increasingly complex and hostile digital environment. While implementation may require effort and investment, the enhanced security and flexibility provided by zero trust make it a critical strategy for the future of cybersecurity.